Okay, good morning, class. So today can you hear me? 聽到我講嘢啊？嗬，應該。Okay, thank you. Today we will talk about arrays. So let's take a look at the lesson plan first. So this is the second last lecture. Today is the second last lecture, and next week will be the last lecture. We'll talk about how to handle exceptions. So basically, this part will be very small part. It's a very small part. So I will also do a revision with you next week and talk about some important point of the final assessment. And before that, let's briefly talk about the format of the final assessment, because actually I would mention this again at the end of this session as well as next week, because I want to give you some idea how the final assessment would to be. So first, it is a take-home assessment, of course. So you can do it at home. Will last for a day. I will release one day before the submission. 咁而家我哋都有17個，咁因為我快速啲講一講個 final 都唔叫 exam 噶啦 ，final assessment 嘅一個模式啦。咁其實我而家完堂之前我都會再講多次嘅，因為咧有啲同學可能遲咗入嚟，咁但係我哋早咗嚟咧，我哋未開波之前咧，不如都講下。咁其實咧放心，今次咧最尾嗰個 final assessment 咧都比 assignment 容易嘅。基本上你識做 assignment 2咧，你都會識做 programming 嗰 part 嘅，因為咧。所以大家就俾心機做 assignment 2。assignment 2係比較難嘅，我都可以同大家講，因為一來我哋係比較集中 second part， 我哋即係 midterm 之後教嘅嘢啦。咁係啦，但係大家有2-3個禮拜做咧，咁所以即係可能我都會講一講嘅，臨尾講一講大約嗰個題目係點樣啦。因為有啲同學都問過我，咁 to be fair 我都想喺度講一下。咁講翻 final assessment， 咁其實咧主要咧今次 final assessment 咧就會有3個部分嘅。第一個部分咧就係 programming， 咁本身咧我以前就通常係3揀2，咁而家咧我就會揀2揀1啦 ，OK， 2揀1。所以至於係乜嘢即係類型嘅嘢咧，咁我留翻下一個星期先同大家講 ，OK， 係2揀1嚟嘅，咁都一定係集中喺我哋後半部分學嘅嘢嚟嘅，即係 GUI 啦，跟住或者係啲 class 啊 method 呢啲嘢嘅，咁都係2揀1。咁然之後嗰度佔50分啦，咁另外嗰50分咧有30分係 MC 嚟嘅，咁就大約係15題左右。咁 MC 就會係好似我哋之前midterm 嗰個模式，不過嗰個咁嘅感覺，但係我覺得係冇 midterm 係難啲嘅，咁但係MC 嚟講，大家都係啦，集中溫midterm 之後嗰啲課啦。咁而15條 MC 咧，今次嗰個模式點樣考咧？即係究竟喺 Moodle 度做定係喺 Word 嗰度打咧？咁我留翻下一次先講，因為都未可以即係確實地講到究竟係會喺 Moodle， 因為都驚撞時間啊成。咁應該咧，可能今次就會喺 Word 嗰度打，因為除咗 MC 之外，有20分咧就會係大約係要你答一條問題，就係講下點樣去設計一個 program 嘅，類似係咁樣。咁所以咧 programming 嗰 part 即係有啲同學特別擔心係寫 programming 嗰 part， 咁都係大約係佔一半左右。咁而基本上你識做 assignment 2咧，咁其實 嗰50分就我都會下堂會俾少 hints 大家啦，等大家知道。我都覺得唔難嘅拎個50分，因為記唔記得我曾經同大家講過 GUI 個課，咁我都希望大家可以即係諗下點樣寫整個 GUI，基本上有一題一定係嗰個咁，我曾經講過，咁所以嗰個題嘅變化亦都唔會好大，咁所以呢個會係一個好重要嘅 tips 啦，咁我下堂都會講嘅。咁呢個就係我哋 final assessment 嘅一個模式，咁就會係應該都會俾1日時間大家做嘅，係啦，咁樣嘅得唔得？咁如果你話有啲咩特別問題啊，咁當然啦，可以之後問我。咁同埋咧，有啲同學想開 tutorial，譬如你哋溫完書之後，因為下一堂已經係最後一堂啦。咁但係你話譬如下一堂之後你溫完書，而家可能你哋仲未溫書啦。咁你之後溫完書，譬如有問題咧，當然啦，可以係我哋約個時間喺 team 嗰度做啲 tutorial 都得嘅。係啦，咁另外咧 midterm 同埋呢個Assignment 1咧嘅答案咧，我都 upload 咗上網嘅。咁 midterm 其實都有好多同學有問過我，咁我都解釋翻一啲 criteria 啦，因為係好正常嘅，因為喺我俾你哋個 midterm 下面咧都會有個分數嘅分佈嘅，咁嗰個分佈咧就係用嚟俾分大家。即係點樣去攞到嗰啲分嘅，咁所以咧，你哋要睇嗰個題，即係睇嗰個分數咧，係要睇得非常之小心啦。即係有啲可能冇出到 error message 啊呢啲，咁基本上係會拎唔到個 part 嘅分咯。咁大致上咧，如果你覺得你自己係唔係好清楚究竟點樣做，或者睇完個答案都覺得唔係好明白嘅話咧，都可以問我嘅，得唔得？咁呢個係我要同大家講，即係 before 我哋今日個堂要講嘅嘢，係啦。咁但係你話 final assessment 唔需要太擔心嘅，我都盡量唔想令到即係太多內容要大家去溫，咁所以咧今次都會係盡量係減少咗啲 content，所以今日咧我哋會教 array 嘅。其實今日我哋係 week 其實叫 second last 嗰個 lecture 啦。咁我哋 array 裏邊咧，我就係會教one dimensional array 嘅啫。咁而 two dimension 或者 n dimension 咧，咁我就唔講啦，因為咧其實都係類似咁樣嘅嘢，不過就可能再複雜少少。咁我想大家掌握咗 one dimension 先，咁而 one dimension 都會係我哋會 cover 喺我哋 final assessment 裏面啦。咁而two dimension 啊 multi dimension 嗰啲咧就唔會噶啦，唔會喺我哋考試範圍裏邊。而下一堂講嗰個亦都係非常之少嘅部分嚟嘅，咁所以基本上咧你學埋今堂嘅嘢咧就可以做晒你嘅 assignment 2啦，可以即係溫書噶啦，基本上咁。係啦，咁暫時你哋應該係未 release 個 timetable 係咪？咁應該會好快就會 release 俾大家，所以你呢科應該都有足夠時間俾大家去溫習嘅，所以唔需要太擔心。好，咁我哋開始啦，應該差唔多都啲同學都齊啦。咁如果一間take break 啊有問題就 take break 再講啦。Okay, let's get started today's content. Today we will talk about arrays. I believe some of you have already used array or you know how to use array. So array actually is another way to organize your data, to store it so that you can use it more systematically. So let's take a look at the objectives. So first of all, I will introduce what does it mean by arrays, and then we will explore how to declare and manipulate data into array. And then once you know how to declare, how to manipulate data in array, I will also introduce some exception, which is array index out of bound. So now you may not know what does it mean by arrays index out of band. It doesn't matter, but this is an error message. So when you see this message, so how to do it? So we'll talk about the meaning, and then I will also talk about some restriction on array processing and discover how to pass an array as a parameter to method. So this one, we have already learned how to pass a pass integer, pass double, pass different objects as a parameter to methods. Now we will also touch how to pass an array as a parameter to a method. So let's talk about the definition first. So definition of arrays. So it is a structured data type with a fixed number of elements. And this element, we can also call them component of the array. So it means for one array, it consists a number of elements. You can imagine it looks like a train with a number of compartments. Okay, for every compartment, we can store different data with the same data type. So make sure every element are of the same type, and how to access the element, we base on the position they are stored in the array. Let me draw something. Give you some idea how the array is. You can imagine array, what we have learned before. We have learned, for example, if we create an integer variable a, okay, basically we have a space for storing the value, such as 15. If we want to create an array for another variable, which is array, so it looks like a train， 好似一個火車咁。係咪有同學講嘢啊？唔係嗬。Okay, it has a number of compartments. So every compartment can be used for storing data, for storing integer data, for example, 5, 10, 11, 12, and so on. Okay, and then if we want to retrieve a particular data, we have to base on the index, the position index, based on its position. 譬如呢個係我哋 index start from 0啦、1啦、2啦、3啦、4啦，我哋就講呢個 array 嘅第0個就係5啦，第index 1咧就係10啦，呢個 B 裏邊嘅第2個 position 咧就係11啦，如此類推。So we base on the position index to access a particular data. Okay. So now we will learn how to create such arrays and how to assign value to each element of the array, how to process the array. So array is just like, a multiple storage variable. So let's take a look at how to declare one-dimensional array. So this is a general form to declare one-dimensional array. So we need the data type. The data type means the data type of the data stored in the array. As I have mentioned in the last slide, we have to ensure all the data stored in the same array should be of the same data type. So we have to declare the data type. If we use it for storing integral value, so the data type should be integer. If we use it for storing double, so the data type would be double. Of course, if we use it for storing string, okay, the data type would be string. So we can declare the array by using these two statements, line 1 and line 2, similar like how you declare an object. So actually, array is also an object. We can say an array object. So data type is, so the first one is to declare the reference variable. And the second line is to instantiate an object of the array. Okay, so for example, we create an array named A, okay, for storing a number of integral value. So the data type should be integer, int, is followed by a square bracket, indicated that this is an array, not integer value. Okay，呢個正方形空，即係一個中括號咧，入邊冇嘢嘅咧，就話俾你聽咧，佢係一個 array 嚟嘅，得唔得？如果你冇咗呢個括號咧，基本上你得 int 即係 integer a 咁。Just declare a variable only, integer variable. So if you want to declare an array, so you have to give a square bracket here. So the first line is used for declare the reference variable of the array, and then the second line is to instantiate a new object of the array. So therefore we have new operator, and this is the data type again, same as this part, and we have to give the size of this array here. So in this square bracket, we have to enclose a number. So this number representing the size or the number of elements involved in this array. What we have just mentioned, right? For one array, we have a number of elements. The number of elements representing like a number of compartments for storing a number of values. So we have to declare the size. So if we put down 5 here, it means starting from 0, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we put down 5 here, it means it consists 5 elements starting from 0 to 4. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's total, we have 5 elements of this array. So this is one of the approach to declare array object. And another way is line 3. So we use data type followed by square bracket, and then give the array name equal to new operator and other data type, and then the size of the array. So we just combine these two lines to form the third line. So both approaches is the same for declaring array object. So this is also similar to how you declare some other object. Okay, now once we declare the array object, we talk about how to access a particular element of the array. So we have to use the name of this array together with the index, the position index. Okay, so this one is different from this one. So the first one, when we declare the array, we need to put down the size. So intx representing the size of this array. Suppose we use it for storing 5 value, the size should be 5. While here, if you want to access a particular element, we need to use the name together with its position index. So the position index indicating the position of that particular element. So we have to understand that the position starts from 0. The index starts from 0. If we have the array with 5 elements, the size is 5. So the maximum index should be 4. Do you understand what I mentioned? Let me show you here. OK， 我再畫個。Now, if I want to declare array with name array, okay, with a size of 5, new integer. 好，我俾呢個寫埋啦5。So this is the way how you declare the array. Am I right? 大家都知啦，呢個咧就係你點樣去整呢嚿嘢出嚟噶嘛。So this is the name of the array, or we can say this is the reference variable. I put down here. This is the reference variable. Okay. And then this part representing the size of the array. New is the way to instantiate new object. So this is an array object with 5 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this part representing the size. Okay. The size of the array. Okay, now once you instantiate a new object, so the reference number, it means the address of this array object will be passed to this part, okay? Passed to the reference variable. So every time you call the array, so it will point to the object. And then if you use this for storing different value, right? For example, we have 4, 5, 10, 15, 20. For example, we use it for storing these 5 numbers. Now, if I want to access a particular element, let's say I want to retrieve the value 15. Okay, how do you do it? Referring to your PowerPoint, you have to use the name of the array together with its position. So how to know the position of how to tell the position of this value? So we have to understand that the array start with the position index 0. So the first element is at the position 0, and then the second one is located at 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you can see the maximum position index is 4, while the size is 5. 呢個要記住嘅。有啲同學咧成日都會咧自己 declare 咗個 size 係5，就以為咧最大嗰個數字就係5，即係你可以 retrieve 到 array 5嘅呢個 data。冇嘅，最大一定係佢嘅減1，因為 array 嘅 index start from 0. So how to access a particular value? So we use the name of the array, or we can say this is the reference variable name, together with the square bracket and the position. Sorry, 應該係3嚟嘅。得唔得？呢個分號嚟㗎，畫得比較肉酸。Okay, so this is the name of the array and together with the position, so it will return you the value 15. Okay, it will return you 15. Any questions about this part? If no, we move on to go back to the PowerPoint. So this is the way how you access the element, array name together with the index, so representing the position of a particular element. And then make sure you know the index So this one representing the number of component in an array. So number of component, it means the size of the array. If it is equal to 5, the index x should be 呢度錯咗，大家留意改返。呢個係細個 ，OK， 唔係細個等於。So this part is less than the size. The maximum should be 4. If the size is 5, the maximum index should be the size minus 1. Okay. Now I'll give you an example. If I want to create an array variable, or we can say an array object, for storing a number of integral value. So we can declare the array in this way. So for example, the first part, we have to give the data type because we use it for storing integral numbers. So we say it as integer, followed by a square bracket representing it is an array object. So num is the name of the array, equal to new integer 5. Now you know new is an operator to instantiate a new object, and then in integer, yeah, actually it's the same data type of this one. The size of the array is 5, so we can use it for storing maximum 5 numbers, integral number. 咁其實個做法只係我哋 create 咗個 object， 可以有5個位去儲嘢 ，and then the reference, or we can say the address of this object will be returned and stored in the corresponding reference variable, and then every time you call the num, okay, it will point to that object. If we call the variable with its position will point to its position to return the data stored in that element. Okay. Another example, we create an array named list. Okay, its size is 10, and then we use it for storing 10 integral number. So we declare the object in this way. So once we finish this statement, it means we have instantiated a new array object with the size of 10, and then the name is list for storing integral number. If I want to assign a particular value to this element, how do you do it? It's just similar like how you assign a value to a variable. But this time, remember, because we have a list of component or list of element in an array, so we have to indicate the position as well. So on your left-hand side, we can use the assignment operator. So to assign the value on your right-hand side to the left-hand side. So we are going to assign 34 to list 5. So once you have declared the array list, so list 5 representing this component. So we assign 34 to the array list at position 5. So it means this component. Again, if we can also assign other value to some other component. For this line, we can also retrieve the data by using the name with its position. So this way, we are retrieving, we are accessing this element so to return you the value stored in list 3 and list 6, and then we sum them up, we assign and replace the value at position 5. So now position 5 no longer 34, so it will be replaced by 35. Okay, 10 plus 35, 10 plus 35, so it will be 45. Replace the original value stored in list 5. So this way, now you can see it. How we process the array is just similar like how you process a variable, but you have to not only need the name but also the position. 咁你會見到咧，其實個做法係好似你點樣去 process 你嗰啲variable，但係因為咧 array 有個特性就係佢咧係儲住一串嘅 data，so this data should have some relationship, okay? Should be, for example, we are using it for storing the score of our class. So we have 10 students, so we have 10 scores. So they are all representing the same thing but different student, okay? So in this case, we can you imagine or can you think of some advantage of using array instead of the traditional variable? 有冇同學諗到點解我哋要 design 呢個 array 咧？其實頭先Helen 你咪話佢好似我哋平時用嗰啲 variable 啫嘛，咁我都係咁樣，我都係，不過而家唔係叫 list，我俾多個數字佢，俾多個 square bracket 同埋個數字佢，而家係 list 3、list 4，咁我唔可以叫 A、B、C 嘅咩？都得，咁點解要分叫 list 3、list 6、list 5要咁樣？我唔設計3個 variable，每個俾翻個名佢咪得咯？有冇諗過呢樣嘢？有咩用啊咁？你搞場大龍鳳出嚟，就要好似人哋整個 object 出嚟，跟住儲。你有冇記唔記得我哋之前做 exercise 咧？我哋儲啲 patient 啲名嘅時候，我哋要點樣儲㗎？ We have to create an object, create a variable. For example, patient 1, okay, patient 2, patient 3. So once we want to retrieve the data from the test file, we have to do it one by one because we have to retrieve the data and store in a particular variable. We have to, let's say we have 10 patients, so we need to create 10 variables and then do it one by one, remember? But if we have learned how to use array, we can use one array, okay? And then for storing a number of patients' information by changing the position. For example, we change the position. So this can be changed by using variable I. So every time we increase it by 1. So for 10, if we want to retrieve 10 patients' names, so we have to replicate 10 times. We can already retrieve all these patients' name. So this is the way why we need the array instead of creating 10 variable for storing 10 patients name. So we can just create one array and then we can retrieve by using a for structure. So we can change the position and then to get every time we can get in the patient name and store in a particular element, and then next iteration we can move to the second element and then retrieve another patient's name and then third element and so on. So you can see the difference, right? 係咪簡單好多？我唔使寫10行，我用個 for loop 咧就做到啦。之前我唔可以用係因為乜嘢啊？係因為我個名都唔同噶嘛，咁我整10個 variable 出嚟係咪？咁個都唔同嘅時候，咪做唔到咯。咁而家我只係需要改個 position 嘅話，咁呢個 position 係數字嚟嘅，咁其實好容易就可以改噶啦，係咪？我哋寫個 for loop 個數字可以隨住我哋嗰個 iteration 嘅數目個 I 咧叫咩啊？個 count control 嗰個 variable 去改，佢都跟住改，所以其實基本上呢個係非常之方便去儲一啲 similar 嘅 data， 即係可能有關係嘅。當然你要諗點樣去 design 啲 variable 啦 ，based on how you will process your program, so to decide the variable. So another way to declare, so now we give you an example on how to declare arrays. We can create a variable representing the size of an array, and then when we declare the array, we can put down the variable in the size, but make sure this one has been initialized before we use. Okay, we must assign some value to this variable so that we can declare the size of this array. Or we can ask the user to input the size of array. For example, here we create a variable for storing the size of an array, and then we ask the user to input the size of the array. So we use the scanner object console to read the integer and then update the value of array size. And then after that, we can change the size of this array list. Okay. So this is the way. It means, what does it mean? It means the size of array cannot, maybe it can be a variable, may not be we may not fix it at the moment. We can change it during the program execution. So we have introduced one method how you create the array. So this is another way to initialize an array and declare simultaneously. So what does it mean by declaration and initialization simultaneously? So let's take a look at this syntax. So a little bit different from the previous one. The first part actually is the same. We have to declare the data type of this array, which means the data type of the value stored in the array, and the name of the array. Now, after this assignment operator, we are not using new operator to instantiate a new object. Instead, we use this curly bracket. Make sure you understand this is a curly bracket and this is a square bracket, so they are different. And we have to ensure that we put down all the element and the initial value of the element, separated them by comma. Okay, and close them with a curly bracket. So in this way, we can do the initialization and the declaration simultaneously. In the previous approach, we just declare the array object, and then we haven't do initialization, right? We have to assign the value to each element one by one. But by using this way, if we know the initial value, we can simply put down the initial value and separate them one by comma. So we can do them simultaneously. So in this way, the size of the array is determined by the number of initial value within the brace. So this brace means the curly bracket. 咁呢度咧一樣啦，頭先我哋第一個位咧去 declare the size of the array, we have to give a number, right here. So we have to put down a number to indicate the size of the array. In the second approach, we do the initialization at the same time. So the size will depend on the number of value within the brace. For example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the size would be 5. So in this case, the array is declared and initialized simultaneously. So we do not need the operator new to instantiate the array object. 即係如果我哋用呢個方法去做一個declaration 嘅話咧，我哋就唔需要用個 new 呢個 operator 噶啦。So every array once you instantiate a new array, it will associate with variable length. So this variable length indicates the size of array, and then you do not need to create this variable. So every time you instantiate a new array, so it has already associated with this variable. For example, we create an array named list with the size of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then we have gave some initial value. If you use the name of the array with the dot operator to call the variable length, it will return you 6. Later on, I will show you. Okay, let's show you. Turn on the lab beam first. 我哋而家一齊做一次，睇一次究竟有咩特別。咁咧。Okay, for example, we create a variable called list and then with some value. Okay, so if you simply use the name, so this is the name of the array, you put down list here. And then with the dot operator, and then you immediately see the variable length. 你可以自己打嘅。咁其實呢一個會 return 啲咩咧 ？Now you can see because it will return some value, you have to install it, assign it to another value. For example, let's say A. We can print the A out. 咁睇下 print 啲咩出嚟，大家估唔估到啊？望一次咯喎，睇一睇。我哋而家 create 咗呢一個咧係 the second approach to instantiate. To do the initialization and declaration of the array list. So we create a variable for storing this value, and then we call the variable length, and then store the returned value to integer a. Now, what the a is? 幾多啊？5啦，點解啊？因為我哋有呢個咧係 return the size. So the variable length tell you the size of this array. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 value means the size of this array is 5. Again, if we use the first approach to declare an array object, for example, we create the array name numList, okay, and then we instantiate a new object with the size of 10. So it means this array consists 10 elements. Okay, the size is 10. So if we use numList with the dot operator to call the variable length, it will return you 10. So this one is very useful, particularly when you use for structure. You have to tell how many times you have to execute, repeat the structure, so we can use the name based on the size of the array, so it will be changed automatically. So this statement store the value 5, 10, 15, and 12 respectively in the first 4 components of the linked list. We can also store the number of filter elements, that is the actual number of elements in the array in a variable, for example, like num of element. Sometimes we may not use up all the element of an array, so we have to keep record the number of the filter element. For example, we can create another variable for recording the number of element has been filtered. So it is a common practice for a program to keep track the number of filled element in an array, so that you don't have to go through all the elements. So sometimes you can just stop at the number of filled element. Okay, now we have already finished how to declare one-dimensional array. Any questions? we have introduced two methods. So one is the first approach is how you create how to declare a variable, an array, and how to declare the size of this array. The second one is how to do the declaration and the initialization at the same time. So both are useful declaring array. Of course, the first one, sometimes we may not need initialize all the element at the beginning。即係好似有陣時，我哋 create 個 array 嘅時候咧，我哋唔需要一開始就已經 assign 晒啲數字落去噶嘛。譬如我 create 個 array 個 size 係100，OK，佢可以儲100個 value，但係我哋唔需要一開始就已經儲晒，亦都未必會一開始知道晒啲100個數字係乜嘢。咁我哋就會用第一種方法，我哋整咗先，咁之後用到先用。咁第二種方法就係可能你一開始已經知道啦，咁你就一次過唔使煩啦，OK， 擺晒落去，唔使煩啦。咁呢個係第二個方法嚟嘅 ，OK。咁好啦，咁我哋跟住落嚟要講啲咩咧？跟住落嚟我哋就會講下點樣去 process 呢啲 one-dimensional 嘅 array。And then loop is used to step through the element in an array and perform some operation. Now I'll give you a break first. When we come back, we'll talk about how to use loop. It means some for structure or while structure to process a one-dimensional array. 咁我俾10分鐘大家休息啦，咁我哋10:10返嚟咧，就開始講點樣去 process 呢啲 one-dimensional 嘅 array。OK。 Okay, so resume the class. Now we will move on to talk about how to process one-dimensional array by using for structure. Let's take a look at this example. So the first line, I believe now you know the function of the first statement is to instantiate a new array object and then to declare the list, this array. And then we can create a variable I. So we can put int here, or we can declare before the for structure, both are okay. And then we can use the for structure to process lists with I index. Every time after one iteration, we will increase the variable I by 1 if we involve I in the content of the for structure. So the position as a position index, it will be changed every iteration. So for example, for this two line, what are we going to do? Can you guess? 大家估下，唔好成日都係得我講，我唔問大家啦，因為我諗住把握時間，但係我想大家自己諗下，呢兩行做緊乜嘢？The for structure starting from I equal to 0, I smaller than list dot length. List dot length means the size of the array list. Am I right? And I++, it means after one iteration, we will increase the value of I by 1. Okay, for the first iteration, I equal to 0, it means we're talking about the first element of the array list. What are we going to do? We want to get the input from user by using the scanner object console to get one integer value, and then we assign the value to integer list I. It means the first element of the array. Okay, so after this assignment, we move on to the second iteration. For the second iteration, I increased by 1, so now I is no longer equal to 0, it becomes 1. Now I is equal to 1. It's less than the length of, less than the size of list. So in this case, we get another input and then assign to list at the position 1. 但今次 assign 咗佢 the second element of the array. And so on, we move to the third iteration. And then now I equal to 2. And then we assign another element to the position 2, the component at the position 2, and so on. So this is the way how you assign the value by using the for structure. With the loop structure, we can do the assignment. Again, not only assignment, we can also access the data by using the for structure, like the last structure. We are going to go through some iteration, and then every iteration we print out the message and print out the content of the array. So this one, the first one, I is equal to 0, we print out the content, the data stored in list 0. And then after one iteration, we print out the content, which is the data stored at the second component, and so on. So this is the way how you assign and then access the data in an array. Not only we can access the data, in the coming session, we will talk about some operation on array, including initialize. It means how to assign some initial value to the element of the arrays, how to input data, how to output the stored data. So these two parts actually is similar to the last two examples. And how to find out the largest, smallest, sum, average of the elements. So these are very common operation, can be involved in array. So let's take a look at these three statements first. So the first statement, what are we going to do? for the first statement. So this statement, we are declaring an array object. Okay, instantiate new object of array with the size of 10. So this array can use for storing 10 double values. And then we create another variable named index, large scale sum average. Okay, the first operation, we want to initialize array to specific value 10. So it means we have to provide the initial value of this array is 10. We want to assign 10 to each element of the array. So how to do it? We need to use the for structure. Again, because we only have one statement involved in this for structure, we do not need that curly bracket. If we have more than one statement, we have to enclose of them with the curly bracket. Okay, so this is just a reminder. Now, for this structure, we want to assign similar to assign value to the element of an array. Now we want to assign the initial value 10 to all the elements of the cells. So we start from 0 and then make sure the index less than the size. Because we start from 0, the maximum index should be the size minus 1. So we can use index less than cells.length. Now you know cells.length will return the size of the array. Okay, and every iteration we increase the index by 1. For the first iteration, so the cell 0 means the first element of the array cells. We assign 10 to this element. And then for the second element, when we increase the index by 1. So now index is equal to 1. So we assign the same initial value 10 to this element and so on until we assign to the last element of this array. For this part, this is the way how you read the data into array, what we have just mentioned in the previous example. We can make use of the scanner object console. So now I believe all of you know how to create a scanner object. Am I right? If you don't know how to create a scanner object correctly, so you have to do some revision. Okay, check the first few lecture notes. Make sure, because this one is commonly used, we will use it all the time in all the assignment, all the assessment. Okay, how to read the data into our array? Again, we get the data from user and then we assign it to a particular element of the array by using the assignment operator. Always we assign the right-hand side value to the left-hand side. Similarly, how you retrieve the data from the array. For example, we want to print them out. How to do it? So we can use the printout statement. Again, we can access the particular component of the array by using the name of the array as well as its position index. Okay, move on to talk about how to find sum and average of arrays. Sum, I believe you know how to get it, right? Every time if you want to sum up some value, we can create a variable sum, and then after we update the value in each iteration. So for example, in the first iteration, the initial value of sum is equal to 0. So we will do the operation on your right-hand side first, and then after that we will assign it to the left-hand side. So on your right-hand side, the initial value of sum is 0, and then the cells with the corresponding position index. So this part is used for retrieving, or we can say access the content of that component. Okay, so based on the index, now the index is 0, so it representing the first element of the array. So we return the value stored in that element, and then addition to the current summation, the sum value, okay, and then update the sum. Now, for the second iteration, the sum no longer equal to 0. It becomes the last value. It means the cells index 0 plus the cells with the index 1 and so on. So we sum up all the value. If we want to calculate the average, we just divide by the size. It means the number of elements involved in the array. So we can get the element by using the size by using cells dot length。咁呢個就係點樣去揾嗰個 array。記住啦，呢兩部分咧係唔係跟個課嘅，個課淨係呢一句嘅啫，得唔得？呢個我諗去到而家呢個位應該大家好熟噶啦，即係都係我沉氣再講多次。課咧，如果你有多過一行嘅，你一定要用一個 curly bracket 咧包住佢，如果唔係佢淨係會行最黐住佢個行嘅啫。陣間我俾時間大家試下。Okay. And then how to determine the largest element in an array? Do you know how to do it? In fact, we have learned a number of ways to determine the largest element in the previous lecture. Remember when we have learned the user-defined method. When we were learning user-defined method, you are asked to create a program, create methods to find out the largest elements, largest value among the list. Remember? So this is the way how you find out the largest element in an array. Again, this time we are not storing the maximum value. At the beginning, we're storing the maximum index, okay? So this index representing the element, the index of a particular element, which storing the largest value. So at the beginning, we assume that index is 0, and then we start from index 1. And then, we will do until all the value has been compared, so it will be less than cells dot length. So if the maximum index, so this one representing, the value, the precision index of a particular element storing the largest value. So if the content is less than the current value, so we will update the maximum index with the current index. Okay, and then we will do the, so give you example. Now we have a list, cells. We have an array and then storing number of value. For the first iteration, so we want to find out the largest element in this array. So at the beginning, we assume the maximum index is equal to 0. It means this is the index, okay? We assume this is the largest element, and then it means the precision index is 0. Now we compare with this next element. So we start from index equal to 1, and then we do the comparison. Cells with 0, it means 12.5. We check whether 12.5 less than cells with index 1. So whether it is less than 8.35, of course not, right? So we will skip this statement and then move on to the second iteration. Now, max index is still equal to 0, while the index become 2 because we increase the index by 1. So now the index equal to 2. So we compare 12.5 with 19.6. So see whether 12.5 is less than 19.6. So this time, yes. So we will update the max index with the current index, so which is 2. So now the max index is equal to 2. So which means up at the moment or up to this iteration, the largest value is located at index 2. Okay. And then after that, we compare the current maximum with the next value, which means the index is equal to 3. Okay. And then we compare 19.6, whether 19.6 is less than 25, because now index is equal to 3. Yes. So we will update the mass index with 3. Move on and so on. So until you compare all the value. While the largest value is equal to the name of the array with the mass index. For example, now the mass index should be 8. So it means cells 8. So return you 66.65. So this is the way how you estimate or determine the largest element in the array. If you forget what I have mentioned in the previous slides, you can refer to slide 20. So it will show you the detail step by step. Now we move on to talk about some exception may happen when you process array. So one of the exception is named array index out of bound. So what does it mean by array index out of bound? Array is in bound if what? If 0 less than index less than or equal to array size minus 1. As I have mentioned before, array size is always larger than the maximum index. So if the size is 5, so the maximum position index should be 4. Okay, it means the array size minus 1. So in this case, if you access the array at the position 5, so it will return or it will throw out an exception named array index out of bound. So next week I will talk about, I will introduce the meaning of exception. So what does it mean by exception? Exception means something unexpected happened. Let's say, in fact, we have learned found not found exception. Do you remember? You expect you can find out a file from a particular position, but in fact you cannot, so it will throw out an exception. Similarly, in here, you expect the size of array is 5. You expect at the maximum you can access the position at index 4, but if you access it over the maximum, it means if you access the position at index 5, it means some unexpected happen. It will throw out index out of bound exception. 咁我試一次俾大家睇，你就知係咩叫 index out of bound。呢個 exception 其實好 common 嘅，你咧有啲同學都可能用過。譬如 let's say I want to print out something, let's say list 3, okay? So what will happen? 大家估唔估到？我咧就整咗個咁嘅一個 array, and then I want to retrieve the value at position 3. Which value will be shown? 0, 1, 2, 3定係3定4啊？會 display 啊？我哋睇下啦喎，大家心裏邊估咗個數先 ，before 揭曉。嗱，我而家 print out list 3，咁即係邊個數咧？係啦，係呢個嚟嘅，因為由0開始噶嘛，0、1、2、3應該係 print out state。If you know that the size of list is 5, if I access 5, what will happen? What will happen? This is what we call array index out of bound exception。當你見到呢一個啦，而家你哋去到尾聲啦，呢個 module 嘅尾聲，我諗大家都要開始學識睇呢啲 error message 啦。其實咧，你見到咧呢個 Java 13，其實就即係第13行有錯咁嘅意思。你可以 click 落去，你就會見到會彈去呢一行，咁就話俾你聽呢一行咧 有啲問題。咁咩問題咧 ？Array index out of bound， 即係話你 access 個 index out 咗個 bound， 個 bound 就係個 maximum bound。咁而家個 bound 係4嚟噶嘛，咁你揾5喎，咁嘅 maximum over the maximum。So you have to check whether you have access over the way index. Okay, so this is the way how you, of course, next week I will talk about how to handle this kind of exception. Sometime we may have different, in Java we have a lot of different exception. They have classified it into different classes. So every time if you encounter this exception, it will throw out this exception telling you something happened, some unexpected event has happened. So whether you are going to throw it out or you are going to handle it, so we'll talk about this next week. This is just I give you some idea what does it mean by index out of bound, so that every time you can check the program and then change it. Now, what we have just finished, like how to process the array, how you read the data from array, how to write the data to array, how to find out the maximum, find out the largest value among the data in an array. Now we move on to talk about how to declaring array as a formal parameter to methods. Do you remember what does it mean by formal parameter to a methods? In the second last lecture, we have learned how to create a user-defined method, remember. So in that lecture, when you call the methods, you have to pass the value. Sometimes for some method with formal parameter list, you have to pass some actual parameter so that the actual parameter will be copied to the formal parameter, and then it will be manipulated in the methods and then return you some value. Again, not only we can parse the some primitive data to as a parameter to methods, we can also pass the object such as string, such as array, as a formal parameter to the methods. So let's take a look at the content here. Now, for example, we have declare an array name, okay, with the data type. Let's say now 呢句我哋唔好理住呢句，我哋睇下面先。Now, if we create array name integer list, int list, okay, and then it can be used for storing 10 integral number. So the maximum, the size of this array is 10. And then we have created another array name double num list for storing the data in double type. Okay, the size is 15. And then we have another number variable, another variable name number. Now, if I have another user-defined method, name array as formal parameter. So this is the name of the methods. I hope you still remember how to create user-defined method. So this is the heading of the method. Am I right? So this is the accessibility of this method's public statics, which means it can be accessed outside the class. Void means it will not include the return statement. We are just doing something. We're not going to return you any value. And this is the name of the methods together with the formal parameter list. So by calling this methods, we need to supply 3 input parameter. The first 2 are array and the third one is integer value. So in this case, when we call the methods, we have to provide the name as well as the actual parameters. So the actual parameter, we have to give the name of this array. So this is a reference variable, in fact. Do you know, I believe you remember how to pass object as a formal parameter. So this one is also similar to how you pass object to the methods. 我哋 pass object 都係咁樣做㗎嘛，因為咧呢一個其實都係一個 reference variable 嚟嘅。如果你咁樣 pass 咧，即係指緊乜嘢啊？呢個係一個指住一個 array 嘅 reference variable，呢一個咧亦都係一個指住另一個 array 嘅 reference variable。咁你會見到呢個 method 咧，we need 3 parameter for the first two. So both are arrays because you can see this square bracket. You know this is array, okay? And then this array, we are also declaring the reference variable of an array. Because these two array, we have instantiate its corresponding object with its size, okay? And then if you pass this as a parameter, so the value contained in this reference variable will be copied to list A. For example, integer list will be copied to list A. So what does that mean? It means both are pointing to this object. Integer list is pointing to its object based on the reference, right? And then because we pass this reference to the formal parameter, so it means the reference will be copied and then stored in another reference variable named list A. So now list A is also pointing to the same object of integer list because they both have the same reference number. Similarly, we have double num list. Okay, this is also the reference variable, and this reference variable is pointing to its corresponding object. Okay, and now if we copy this reference variable, if we put in this actual parameter, it means we pass this parameter to the reference variable. Now list B is storing the same reference as the double name list. So both of them are pointing to the same object. So pointing to this object. Of course, number. Okay, if you have some value in number, this number will be copied to num. And then we can process in this method. So this is the way how you pass array as a formal parameter to a method. Therefore, if you use assignment operator in array, for example, we have instantiate two object, array object. So one is called list A, another is called list B. So at the beginning, they are pointing to its corresponding object, okay, an array object. If you execute this statement, we assign list A to list B. What does it mean? List A is a reference variable for storing the address of this array. Am I right? And then this variable is assigned to list B. Now it means list B is also a reference variable. It's storing the same reference as list A. So they are pointing to the same object. So this one is what we call the shallow copying, remember? If I want to do deep copying, what does it mean? They are pointing to its corresponding object while we copy the detail. It means the content of each element from one object array to another array. So how do you do it? We have to access the detail one by one. So in this case, we have to make use of the loop. Okay, the for structure. So we have to access a particular element and then we assign the content of that element to another element from another object. So in this case, we can take a look at this example. If we don't want them to do this kind of, this kind of assignment, we are not going to assign the reference variable from A to B. We are copying the content. We are going to copy the content from A to B. So we have to use the for structure and then access the element one by one. For example, for the first iteration, we access the first element of list A. Okay, now index equal to 0, so it will return you 5, and then 5 will be assigned to list B with index 0. So this value will be copied and assigned to list B. For the second iteration, we update the index by 1. Okay, now we are referring to this content, this number, and then we assign this number to list B at position 1. So we copy this number and assign to another component and so on. So this is another way to do copy, which is called deep copying. Okay, now move on. This part, if we involve array in some logical expression, for example, like the relational in the operation here, the logical expression, the logical expression, which may involve some relational operator. Now we are checking whether list A is same as list B. So what are we checking? 我哋 check 緊啲乜嘢? So you have, the first thing should be, you have to understand what information is stored in list A and list B. Am I right? Now, if you understand they are reference variable, you know the information stored in list A and list B are reference number. So we are checking whether the reference number of list B is same as the reference number of list A. Okay. So if we are checking the reference number, we are talking about whether they are pointing to the same object, same array object. We are not checking the component of list A and list B. Of course, if they are the same, it means they are pointing to the same object. Okay? If you are going to check the detail, if they are not pointing to the same object, can we say they are not the same? It depends, right? If we are going to check the detail of this array, so we have to compare the component one by one. So we have to write a method that return you true if two integer array contain the same element. So how to do it? We can take a look at this method. We cannot simply, if you are going to compare two array, check whether they store the same value, we cannot simply use this as a logical expression. We have to write a method for comparing two array. So here is a suggestion. So of course, this is the return type, right? In front of this return type, it should have some accessibility like public statics, Boolean. It will return you either true or false. Of course, true representing they are the same, they're storing the same value, or they have the identical component. If it returns false, it means they don't have this, they are not the same, okay? And this is the method's name, and it requires two formal parameter. So we have to provide two array. Okay, for the checking, we check two different things. The first one is the number of, the first one is the size of the array. If they have different size, of course they are not the same. So we can return false because this is the return type. Okay, we can simply return false if the length are different. Remember, this is return statement. If every time we execute the return statement, all the rest are skipped. So it will come back to here. Go back to we'll leave the methods and go back to the control here. If they have the same size, we will not execute this statement. Am I right? And then we will move on to we'll move on to the second comparison. It means we compare the content of the array. So to compare the content, how to do it？ 大家估唔估到點樣？頭先講過啦，你要 compare 逐個 compare 嘅時候咧，咁我哋就要逐個睇。咁其實逐個睇亦都係要用個 for，所以你要見到咧，其實 array 係成日都會同呢個 for 扯上關係嘅。咁你會見到我哋其實就係同一個位置去做比較啫嘛，大家都係 index 0嘅時候，我哋比較。If they are not the same, we simply return false. If they are the same, we skip this if structure and then go back to the second iteration. Move on to the second iteration and compare index, the position at 1. Okay, we compare the element. If we finish this for structure and then nothing has been returned, we return true. Okay? 如果其中一個唔啱咧 ，return 咗 false 咧，下面嗰啲就唔做噶啦。呢個亦都係一個 return statement 嘅一啲 property 嚟嘅，得唔得？一旦行咗咧 ，all the rest 就會 skip。咁所以如果你想比較呢兩個 array 究竟係咪一樣咧 ，we have to create first of all we have to create a user-defined method, and then once you created this method, we can call the method providing two array. Of course, this is a reference, right? The reference will be copied to first array and the other reference will be copied to second array, and then, and then we do the comparison. Return you true if they are equal. It will return you false if they are not equal. Okay. Now, later on I will give you time to create these methods in NetBeans because I want to finish some parts first. So if we have sufficient time, I will give you time to work on this method. So let's take a look at some different methods. We pass an array as parameter in these methods. For example, we want to print out something, print out the content of array. We can create user-defined method, and which is non-value returning. So we can use void as the return type. And we need of course, we need an array as an input parameter. Every time we call the methods, we use the name of this method together with the actual parameter. It means the reference of the array. So that reference will be passed and copied to the integer list. So this reference variable, and then this reference variable will point to an array object and then print out the content. The second one is another method to print the array. If we haven't filled up all the content of the array. If we fill out all the content of this array, we can simply use list.length. So it represents the size of the array. So it means we print out all the content of that array. If we haven't filled out all the array, we can use the variable num of element to record how many array has been filled. So we will print up to this element instead of print out all the elements of that array. And then other methods like this one is to assign a value to the list. Okay. 呢啲都係啲唔同嘅方法，其實來來去去你見到都會存在住一個 structure 係咩 structure？ 其實嗰個 structure 大家都好熟口面啦，就係個 for 啦，係咪？其實我相信今日都有啲沉氣，因為成日講嚟講去都係講嗰個 for 嘅 structure， 就係你要去 access 嗰個 element 同你要去 access 呢個 element 同你要去assign啲 value 去呢個 element， 基本上都係 個模樣都係咁，只不過放喺右手面定放喺左手面。OK， 如果你要 assign value to 呢個 element，你就係一個 value assigned to the left hand side， so list with the index should be put on the left hand side。如果你純粹拎翻個 data，咁就唔需要分 left and right，係就咁 call 佢就得㗎啦。咁呢個我唔講啦，因為加其實都講過，揾呢個 index layers 呢啲都講過㗎啦。copy 其實都講咗，咁呢個只係你去 create 唔同方法，咁大家都學咗點樣去 create user defined method 㗎啦，係咪？咁咧其實呢啲就係一啲 method 你可以 create 放喺度嘅。好啦。Okay, here, pay attention. We may not just pass array as the parameter to methods. We can also pass individual element of the array to the method. What does it mean by individual element of the array? 大家知唔知啊？我哋頭先前面就講成個 array pass 做一個 parameter 去俾一個 method 啦。咁除咗成個 array 抌俾人哋之外咧，我哋亦都可以揀局部嘅，即係話我哋 pass 其中一個 elements 過去。So in this case, it will no longer as an array. It becomes an integer variable, an integer value, or double or any other value. For example, here we create an array named list with 3 elements, okay, and then all these are integral value. If we have a method, user-defined method named num, okay, we have to provide 2 integer so that we will return the sum of this value. Of this value. In this case, we need 2 integer, not array. Okay, so if you want to call this methods, we have to pass 2 integer. We can pass the individual component of the array, so it will be read as an integer instead of array. 得唔得？如果你係講緊你係一個，如果你就咁出個 list 咧，咁呢個一定係 reference variable 啦，係咪？即係你係 pass 緊一個 array 過去啦。但係個問題係我而家唔係要 array 喎，你見到我個 formal parameter list 係2個 integer 嘅數，咁所以我一定要 pass 一個 integer 嘅數過去。咁你會見到咧 list 如果係講緊特別係一個 component 嘅話，咁其實佢咧就唔係一個 array 嚟嘅，佢係一個數字嚟嘅，得唔得？佢係一個，譬如呢個0係講緊係2嚟嘅，得唔得？咁呢個2就會 copy 咗去 first num，and then this one is equal to 3，and then 3 will be passed to second num。所以話其實 array 就係一串數字咯，得唔得？佢一串咁睇，你可以叫佢做 array。如果一個個咁睇，佢就會變翻做一個個數字。至於佢係咩 data type 咧，就 depends on 呢一個啦。佢本身 array 嗰個 data type，因為佢哋全部 data 都係 in 呢一個 data type 嘅。Okay, this exercise we will do it later. Okay, within this lecture. Yeah, after I finish some very important part of this PowerPoint, I will give you time to work on this exercise. So this exercise, suppose we are going to search a particular item from the array. So for example, we have an array name list, and then we want to determine whether 27 is in the list. So we compare 27 with the first element, and then if no, we move on comparing with the second element and so on until you find that particular item, and then the search will stop and then display where you find this item. So this exercise, doing the similar things, we will do it later. Okay, we move on to the last part. I want you to pay attention this part, because this part will help you to complete your assignment 2. Some students told me they don't know how to do assignment 2 because you haven't learned this part. So I will talk about this part in detail, and then you can think about, if you have a look at the assignment 2, probably you will have some idea how to do it. Array of object. As I have mentioned in the previous slide, arrays is used for storing a number of value, okay? Number of value. And then array is not only used for manipulating data, it can also be used for manipulating object. We can use array for storing a number of objects. Okay, of course they are in the same class, under the same class, they are with the same type. But we can use it for managing a number of objects. For example, we can create an array named array1 with an object of type T. Type T basically is the data type. It can be the class type. Okay. For example, if remember we have learned how to create a class last week. We create a number of clock. Remember, we have learned how to create a class, and then we use one example named class clock. We demonstrate how to create class clock, and then we instantiate a number of clock under the same class. Now, if we want to use an array for manipulating this clock object, so how to do it? First, we have to find out the storage space. 或者我用另一個解釋，你可以咧幻想咧呢個 array 好似一個儲物櫃咁啊，即係一個你哋屋企擺嘢嗰啲櫃。咁咧呢個櫃咧 ，OK 就有好似個層架咁一層層嘅。咁每一層咧可以放一樣嘢，而呢啲嘢咧全部都要係同一類型嘅嘢，即係話咧，如果我每一層可以放呢個架係攞嚟放籃球嘅 ，OK， 咁每一格都係放一粒籃球咁嘅意思啦。咁我就要喺呢度咧去，我呢個叫第一個架，我俾個名呢一個架，咁呢個 array 個名就係代表住呢一個架個名啦。And then T representing the information or the data or the things stored in that array. For example, as I have mentioned, I use it for storing basketball. OK， 咁呢一個 class type 咧就係可能係波，假設係咁啦，唔同嘅波。OK， 咁呢個 class 唔同嘅波啦。OK，and new is to instantiate. OK, this is the reference variable of array. 呢個假嘅 reference variable, and then we have to really create an object of this array. We need to use the new operator called, we have to use the operator named new to instantiate that object. 我畫俾大家睇，等大家咧容易啲明我講咩。唔知同學明唔明？如果你唔明嘅話咧，可以出聲嘅，我哋可以一齊講嘅。因為呢一部分都重要，就影響住你識唔識做你嘅 assignment 2啦。好，呢度我拆咗佢啦，當大家都明啦。頭先我叫同學幻想嗰樣嘢，我覺得呢個 example 應該大家容易啲明。幻想大家呢個架咧就係我哋嘅 array 啦。咁咧呢個架咧，假設咧而家咧我就用嚟儲住一啲我哋叫做唔同嘅波 ，OK？Football、basketball， 跟住仲有乜嘢 golf 啦、波啦，唔同嘅 object。So these are object，OK？ 我哋 assume we use it for manipulating object。好，大家都有 PowerPoint 㗎嘛？開住 PowerPoint 㗎嘛？咁頭先講過啦，我哋要 create 一個咁樣嘅 array， 我哋要 tell you the type of this array, representing the type of this object, okay? And then the name of the array. And then we need the new operator to instantiate the new object because array also has a reference variable. Okay. And then we base on this reference variable will point to, based on the address, the reference, point to its object. So this object is the array object. This is array object. This is the object stored in the array object. Okay.得唔得？呢個黑色嘅咧就係 array 嘅 object，而裡面咧我哋今次唔係儲 data，我哋儲其他 object。OK， 咁所以咧你會見到咧 instantiate before we store anything inside this array we have to create 我唔應該用紅色，我應該用黑色。So we declare the type. It can be string if you use it for storing string. So the T will be string. And then the name of this object, this array object. And then we need the operator new to instantiate the object of this array. Okay. And again, we set the size for this object, let's say 5. So these are the type of this object. We use it for storing, this type of object. Clear? 明唔明我講緊咩先？呢度其實我哋講緊兩樣 object。第一個 object，我哋喺呢個 moment 都係 create 緊個 array 嘅 object。咁而呢一橛就係當然就係講緊 create 個 object，而呢個 address of 呢個 object 咧就會掉翻過嚟呢度。咁所以 every time we will base on the reference point to the array object。得唔得？好 we come back to the PowerPoint. So we finish this statement and then move to here. Not only we have to instantiate a new array object. So for every component of this array, we have to instantiate a new object of that type. For example, now we use it for storing different ball, okay? 唔同嘅球 ，okay? 唔同嘅類型嘅波。咁我哋每一個位置都要指向 we have to instantiate a new. Again, now you can imagine this part is a component of the array, and then this is also the space for as the reference variable. Now the reference variable no longer my code, your code, other clock. So it is the name of the object of the array together with its position index. And then this one will point to the new object of that class. For example, we instantiate a new basketball. So it will point to that basketball. It will instantiate a new football. So we point to the new football. So you can see this one no longer we instantiate. This is Tn representing the size of the array, while this one is new T. T is the constructor of the class. Remember, 我哋係整緊一嚿新嘅 object 出嚟。咁即係咩咧？睇下啦。For example here, the first statement, we instantiate a new object of the array for storing 5 elements. So for the first statement, we created this part, the yellow part. We use it for storing string, okay? And then the second part, for every component or for every element. So this is the reference variable of the class type, the string type. It will point to the object. So we use that assignment operator to, so it means we instantiate an object, a string object storing Amanda Green, okay, a VJ, a roller, and so on. So every time we create an object and then we return a reference variable and then store in that the array a particular element of an array. Another example, remember in last week, we have learned how to create class clock. And then we have created 3 clocks. Remember, one is my clock and the other is your clock. The third clock is other clock. We have 3 clocks. Now, assume you are going to create 100 clock. So by using array of objects, so it will be more easy for you to manipulate these clocks. 我哋唔使再去 create 我哋唔需要再 create 好多嗰啲乜嘢my clock, your clock, other clock 呢啲咁樣嘅嘢啦。我哋就係需要去 create 個 object 儲住呢啲 clock， 即係等於咩意思咧？記唔記得上堂咧，我哋學咗點樣去 create 上堂我哋學咗點樣去 create 一啲我哋學咗點樣 create 3個鐘嘅，記唔記得？我講埋呢度，我咪未放 break 俾大家，係咪啊？都有時放下自己都亂咗，唔緊要，我講埋呢度俾個 break 大家，我哋翻嚟先再做 exercise。係啦，我哋係啦，上一堂咧，我哋學咗點樣去 create 個 class clock 噶嘛。記唔記得？咁而呢個 class clock 入邊咧有 constructor 啦，有唔同嘅 method 啦，咁我哋就 create 咗3個鐘嘅。咁好啦，如果我要大家 create 100個鐘，我嘅上一堂就 create my clock, your clock, other clock 啊嘛，記唔記得？咁就係個方法就係去 declare 個 clock 跟住 my clock new 跟住 clock 咁樣去做。我希望大家有記得啦，如果唔記得要溫書啦。咁如果我話俾你聽，而家咧我有100個嘅運動員，假設咁我要 create 100個鐘去即係記錄佢哋起跑嘅時間或者係 finish 嗰個時間。咁嘅時候，哇！咁我咪好辛苦咯。邊個 clock 邊個咁樣個 clock， 我要咁樣去 create。咁其實所以我哋就可以咧去用一個 array 去 manage 啲100個鐘。咁點樣做咧？首先第一個 step 咧，我哋要有個 array 先，即係個架咧裝住呢100個鐘嘅，大家去幻想就係咁樣幻想。咁呢個架咧就要去話俾佢，即係要去整出嚟啦。整呢個架點樣整咧？就係呢句 statement 啦。因為我哋呢個架係裝住鐘嘅，咁所以咧個 type should be clock，OK，and followed by a square bracket。咁呢個架個名咧就叫 arrival time m，OK。呢個架個名，或者我哋叫 reference variable 啦。咁我哋要真係整個 object 出嚟，咁我就用 new operator，and then we use it for storing clock. So we put down clock here, and then the size is 100. So we can use it for storing 100 clocks. So every clock is represented by a reference number. So every element actually is a reference variable of the clock。記唔記得 my clock, your clock, other clock 其實都係 reference variable 嚟嘅。我哋都係用 my clock 去 call 唔同嘅 method。my clock dot set time, my clock dot print time, my clock dot 乜嘢。咁個 my clock 其實咧都係一個 reference variable。Now we use arrival time m with the index representing the name of the reference variable of a particular clock. So it means like similar like my clock, similar like your clock, and this one similar like other clock. 唔同嘅 index 去代表住唔同嘅 clock。OK， 好啦 ，this is the first step, and then the second step. Once you have created the reference variable of a clock, we have to instantiate a clock。即係我哋平時咧會買咩clock my clock 等於 new clock 咁樣噶嘛，係咪？咁而家咧我哋已經整咗前面啦， 咁呢個 reference variable we instantiate an object of clock, so we need the constructor of the class clock. We instantiate every reference variable instantiate a new object, so we can use the for structure to execute 100 times, depends on the size of this array, and then we instantiate 100 clock by calling this part. 咁我哋已經可以整咗100個鐘出嚟，係咪簡單過之前啊？之前我哋要逐個 my clock，我哋要整100個名出嚟，寫100行。我哋而家要個 for structure， 就可以整到100個鐘出嚟。Of course, you can after you finish these 2 steps, we can use the reference variable to call different method. For example, we can use this reference variable to set the time of that particular clock. We can also use another methods to call different another variable name reference name to call different clock to access the data, to retrieve the data, yeah, and so on. 咁一間我翻嚟咧，大家消化一下先，俾少少時間。而家11分，我哋20分翻嚟。咁我咧會同大家講一講，但睇下大家明唔明我講咩啦？咁我會同大家講一講個 assignment tool 同呢一樣嘢有咩關係。咁大家可以再諗下，究竟點樣先可以做到 assignment tool 啦？得唔得？咁而家咧，我哋休息一下先，11點21分。咁我哋開始講埋最後個 part。後面咧，其實就我講埋呢個 for each loop 咧就完㗎啦。2 dimension 打後嗰啲我就唔講啦，因為唔想搞亂大家。其實個原理都係一樣。OK， 你可以有好多 n 咁多個 dimension 嘅，唔一定要係 2 dimension， 可以 3， 可以 4 and so on。咁呢個有時間要輕輕講講啦，但係我想大家明咗前面點樣做先。OK，take a break 先。 Okay, we resume the class, and now we take a look at assignment 2 first. So here we have some requirements stated in the assignment 2 from 1 to point 10. So let's take a look at first point. So you have to create a manual page. I have shown you some example here. And then the second part, allow the user to input this kind of information for create. So you have to create Java file with a class. So this part, you know how to create a class for truck. Okay, you have to think about how to create a class for truck, similar like how you create a class for clock. And then you have to create an array object for the class truck to store the information. So this part also important. You have to create an array object for managing this kind of car as this kind of truck. So it means similar like what we have just mentioned in the PowerPoint, you have to create array objects so that you can use them for storing a number of trucks. So you can call different methods to set this information and so on，得唔得？呢個呢，我俾咗好大嘅 tips 大家點樣做啦。其實就係頭先咁樣咯，我哋要 create array 一個 object 啦，然之後呢，呢個 object 呢係用嚟儲住唔同嘅 truck 嘅唔同嘅車，咁所以你要用唔同嘅 array 呢，嗰個 reference number 即係唔係 my truck your truck other truck 啦，咁你可以用一個 array 嘅 object，你可以去 manage 10架車，即係話其實呢個 array 咧可以儲到10架車，可以裝住10架車 ，OK 嘅 reference variable 啦，咁去 manage 啲10架 truck 嘅。咁下面嗰啲我唔講啦，下面嗰啲大家自己去諗啦。咁呢度應該係大家覺得最難嘅地方，亦都我都俾咗好大 tips 大家點做啦。咁下面咧一啲 example 嚟嘅，即係我哋想見到嘅嘢啦。咁係啦，基本上我都講過啦，一定要我哋final assessment 就會係2揀1嘅 programming question。咁我2揀1一定會有一條係叫你設計呢啲 GUI 嘅，另一條咧就係同啲 class 有關㗎啦。咁所以咧，大家一定要對呢兩樣嘢好熟啦。咁所以基本上你要識做 assignment 2就咁解啦，得唔得？好。好，咁我哋呢個 assignment 2就講到呢度，咁我哋翻去嗰個PowerPoint 度。咁咧，我哋去到最後一部分就係講 for each loop. So this part similar like for structure, but it's basically is used for a more simple form of the for structure, especially for array, for manipulating array. So how to do it? So take a look at the syntax. We create a new identifier with the data type, so same as the array, the type of the array. Okay, so we put down the name here, the name of the array here, and then we create an identifier. So every iteration, you will retrieve the content of a particular element and store in that identifier, and then we can perform something and until we finish all the iteration. Let's take a look at this example, how to use it. We can, if you want to sum up all the content of the array list, so we put down list here and then create a variable called double num here. So for the first iteration, we will retrieve the first element, the content of the first element, and then assign it to num. And then we add it to the sum and update the value of sum. And for a second iteration, we will retrieve the second element of the list, and then we will assign the value to the num and so on. So basically, this is a this approach is optional because you can also use the traditional for structure for doing the similar operation. So this is another way which is more simple. So if you are getting familiar with the usage of this for each structure, so we can do it more easy. I think should be more user-friendly for the programmer. But if you don't want to memorize so many different structures, so you can forget about this structure, you use the original for structure to do the same things. Okay, so I briefly go through some two-dimensional array because I don't want to touch too deep in this module. Basically, how to process, how to declare two-dimensional array, three-dimensional array is similar to one-dimensional array. But just one different thing. Now, to locate the component of that array, for two-dimensional array, we have one more dimension. So you have to use these two information to point to a particular component of the array. So in the previous one-dimensional array, we need to use the position index, right? It can represent the column, the column, okay, the column index. Now with two dimension, we have one value representing the column number of the column and the other value representing the row. Okay, so we need these two values to point to identify a particular component of that array. Of course, two-dimensional array is also very useful, especially if you, for example, if you want to use it for manipulating for recording the cells of a particular car type and branches. So you can refer, for example, if I want to know the branches 5 with the type 3, the stock, the cells of type 3 product. So we can use two-dimension array to retrieve the data. 咁我唔講太多啦，因為咧我唔想大家太複雜，所以呢個部分我就係 introduce 少少俾大家聽。咁等你哋之後咧，你哋再學上去嘅時候都會知道原來 array 唔單止係有一個 dimension，可以有 n 個 dimension 無限嘅，得唔得？咁咧呢啲我唔講啦，因為咧如果有興趣嘅同學當然啦，如果你係有興趣你想學或者你想了解多啲，你可以自己溫完書之後睇完唔明，亦都歡迎大家可以問我嘅，即係我哋可以有興趣嘅同學可以 group 埋一齊咧去我哋可以有 discussion 嘅 session 咯。咁咧，最後有啲咩要同大家講？呢個其實都係同頭先一樣，點樣去揾 element 大嘅 element 啊？點樣去計深啊？不過咧就會多咗，你見到咧其實 two dimension 就會多咗一個 for structure。點解會有兩個 for structure 咧 ？Sorry，等陣食一食。點解會有兩個 dimension 啊？點解會有兩個 for structure 咧？一個咧，頭先我哋一個 dimension，我哋就係需要有一個 for structure 去管理我哋嗰個index 嘅啫，係咪？咁但係因為我哋 two dimension，我哋有兩個 index 啊，一個係 column，一個係 row，咁所以我哋就會見到我哋會有兩個 for structure 喺度，但係其實就通常係做完晒一行先去第二行咁樣去做嘅，咁但係我哋學緊嘅嘢都係點樣去揾啲 sum 啊、largest value 啊等等啦。咁因為我哋時間嘅關係啦，咁我都唔想呢個 syllabus 太趕，咁所以我哋今次咧喺今個年度我哋就唔去講呢個 multi-dimensional 嘅 array 啦，得唔得？咁所以我哋最主要頭先就係我哋今日呢一課或者我哋喺咁講啦，我哋呢一個 module 裏邊會學到呢一課咧，我哋就 up to 頭先講個 one dimension 去到 object 嗰度啦。咁有興趣同學可以自己睇啦。 咁係 summary 啦，我哋學咗啲乜嘢啦？第一，我哋知道乜嘢係 array 啦，點樣去用佢啦。其實 array 係非常之好用嘅，成日有啲同學本身識咧已經有用到㗎啦，我見到。咁但係咧有啲同學唔識嘅本身，咁我希望你通過咗呢課之後，你會知道點樣去用 array 啦。咁 array 就好似你去啲 variable 咁去儲住一啲 data，但係你儲 data 就唔再係每一個 variable 儲一個，你可以整一串，即係好似個雜物櫃啊，唔係，係一個儲物櫃咁啊，有好多格，每一格儲一個 data。OK，咁呢啲雜物櫃咧，一定係儲物櫃啦，一定係儲住同一類型嘅嘢嘅，咁樣嘅模式啦，希望大家有個概念喺度啦。咁我哋講咗點樣去係咩叫 one dimension 啦，點樣去 declare 啦，點樣去 instantiate 個 array 啦，點樣去 process 啦，一啲 very common operation involve can be performed on array 啦，同埋我哋最後講咗一個非常之重要，點樣去 manipulate object 得唔得？好，咁我哋咧而家仲有少少時間咧，我想大家做啲咩咧？我想大家試下做呢個 exercise one。OK，exercise one 要做咩咧？我唔使大家 create 個 class 啦，你可以嘅，但我想大家去 create 呢個啊啊嗯，我想大家 create 一個 method，OK？咁咧喺個 method 裏邊咧，你要 provide 你個 array 啦，可能可以唔使，可以 provide 一個 array 啦，唔需要個 length 啦，你中意啦，你要就加埋落去啦，同埋你要 search 嘅 item，咁譬如你要 search 10嘅話咧，咁你就要喺嗰度即係去逐個去揾啦，揾到10嘅話，你就話俾佢聽佢究竟喺邊度，OK，locate 喺邊度，揾唔到嘅話咧，就話俾個 user 聽你揾唔到啦，得唔得？咁所以咧個 sample run 咧就喺呢度嘅。首先就入咗10個 integer，咁呢10個 integer 就會 assign 咗落去你設計嘅 array 入邊。好啦，咁然之後咧，你要去 input 一個 value 咯，咁就要去睇下喺呢一紮入邊，或者未必10個得5個都得嘅。有冇呢個 value 啦？有嘅話咧就要係position free，冇嘅話就 not in the list。但係咧，我唔想大家咧就喺個 program 就咁做，所以我要大家去 create 個 method。個 method 咧就係要 input 呢兩個 input parameter 就包括咗一個 array 同埋一個 search item。咁所以每一次你只要提供個 array 同一個 search item 咧，就可以話俾你聽究竟佢有冇呢樣嘢，或者係佢如果有嘅話係 return 一個數字俾大家嘅。咁即係佢個位置喺邊？咁記住啦，return 咧 method 你 return 一個 value 咧，就只可以 return 一個嘅啫。咁你 return 咩咧？咁呢度應該係 return 個 position。咁大家俾少時間，而家34分，我哋45分對答案，即係我同大家 go through，未必做得晒嘅，但係我想大家試下趁住呢個時間去諗一諗。咁我哋45分咧就 go through 下呢個答案。咁當然啦，我都會提供一個suggest solution。咁但係個 solution 可能同書裏邊即係呢個 notes 後面有少少分別嘅。咁你都可以諗你自己嘅一個答案點樣去做到呢樣嘢。OK，咁我哋等大家俾時間大家做啦。 Okay. So I think some of you have not yet finished this part, but doesn't matter. Let's take a look at how to handle this question first. So later on, you may complete it at home and check the answer, because I will upload my suggested solution to Moodle as well. Okay, so the first step, you have to decide your user defined method. So remember, as I have mentioned, you need to provide the methods at least two information. The first one is the array, the list of array, and the second one is the search item. So these two information should be included in the formal parameter list of the method. For example, I create a method named search sequence search, a seed search. Okay, and then we provide two information as a formal parameter. So one is array and the other is the search item. So for this method, we expect it is a value returning method. It will return you an integer. So it can be either the location of the search the item, if you can search the item from the list, or it will return another value, represent you cannot find that item. Okay, I hope you can think about how to do it instead of immediately put down all those code. So before you start programming, you have to think about how to decide, because as I have mentioned, every method can only return you a value of the same data type. So it can be it can be some negative number to represent it is not the location of the array. So for example, in this case, I return 999. So it represents you cannot find the item from the array. So it will return you 999. So how to deal with the 999? So will be another part. So look at the main look at the method here. We declare a variable called location, okay, LOC. And then we search the item, we check the item one by one. This one is not difficult, right? We just need to use the list and then use the for structure and then check the list. Or you can use the for each loop as well. So both are okay. If you use the traditional for structure like me, we just need to check the item, the element one by one, check whether they equal to the search item. If yes, we simply return I representing the location, the position index of that value in the array. So once you find the item, we will execute the return statement, and then all the rest will be skipped and then come back to the original the way we control the method, the point we control this method. Go back to the control point. And otherwise, if you cannot find out the search item, it will return you 999. So this is how you decide the method for searching a particular item from the array. In the main method first, because you have to ask, referring to the sample run, we have to ask the user to input a number of value for storing in the array. So we need to create a scanner object, and we have to import the proper package as well. So once you have created the scanner object, you have to create an array list, an array with a size, for example, 5. Instead of 10, I use 5. And then you have to ask the user to input 5 number to the list. So we can use the for structure again to get the data from user and assign it to each element of the array cells. And after that, you have to ask the user to input the search item. So we save it in another variable called search. So given these two information, we can call the method sequence search. So this is the name of the methods, and the two information, one is the array. So this is the reference variable. We will copy to here, the list, okay? They are pointing to the same object. And the second information is search, the item we want to search. So if it is equal to return value, so this one, after you calling this method, it will return you a value, right? Either the position or 999. If it is equal to 999, which means you cannot find out the value from the list. If it will turn not equal to 999, it means the position of the searched item. So we can check the program. For example, let's put down some value. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then input the search item. Let's say 44. It should be return you the position of this value 0, 1, 2. If you cannot search that item, it will return you another. For example, like 7, you cannot find, so it will return you not find. So because it will return you 999, and then we will print out not found in this program. Okay, any questions about this exercise? I hope you understand how to make use, how to create the variable, and how to create the array, and then how to manage the element of this array. Okay, I think, yeah. If you haven't finished this exercise, so don't worry, you can do it. If you don't have any other lecture today, you can continue to work on the exercise and think about how to do the assignment too. The deadline has been set at on 30th of April, the last day of this month. Anything else？ 應該都冇乜太特別嘅嘢要問啦。咁如果你哋有問題可以再問我啦。咁我哋今堂就去到呢度。係啦，咁我講多一次，臨尾都講多次，因為有啲同學遲咗入嚟嘅話咧，咁我都講多少少，就係下堂我會做 revision， 咁下堂會教埋剩翻個少少就係 how to handle 嗰啲 exception， 咁基本上我哋呢個 module 就講晒啦，咁剩翻嘅時間俾大家去溫書啦，同埋去準備啦，咁應該都會夠時間去準備嘅，遲啲會 release 嗰個時間表噶啦。咁而個模式咧，我下一堂都會再講，俾啲 tips 大家啦。咁其實會係一日做嘅。咁而嗰個當然個複雜嘅程度就冇 assignment 2咁難嘅。我相信大家做完 assignment 2都一定會識做。如果你係理解點樣做嘅話咧，你都一定會識做個 final assessment 噶啦。咁就會係2揀1嘅題目嚟嘅 final assessment programming 個 part 佔一半啦，另外一半就會係由 MC 同埋有一條問題會問大家嘅。咁 MC 就好似之前 midterm 咁樣嘅模式，但係就會考後半部分啦。主要咁亦都我覺得後半部分就你理解到嘅話，基本上其實都唔難嘅，因為都係 open book， 大家都會揾到嘅嘢嚟嘅。咁最尾就係講點樣去設計一個 program。咁所以係啦，咁我足夠嘅時間俾大家溫書嘅應該係啦。咁下堂完咗之後，我都會有個 revision 啦，同大家 go through 一啲咩特別要注意嘅地方。咁今堂我哋就去到呢度啦。有咩問題咧，我哋就再講啦，好冇？下堂last lecture 再見啦。Thank you very much.